Wonderful. Good morning, everybody. It is lovely to be here with you. It is so exciting to celebrate today, this new service, and I want to thank you for being here with us and celebrating it with us. I am joined today by Mayor Harrell, City Council Member Rob Saka, King County Metro General Manager Michelle Allison, and Cultivate South Park Youth Ambassador. So thank you for joining us all today for this exciting occasion. We're celebrating the launch of MetroFlex service in South Park and Delridge that began this past week. This is a service fully funded through the Seattle Transit Measure, and which was a measure approved by the voters in 2020. It's an important service improvement to provide greater access to services and amenities within the community and connect with frequent bus services and destinations throughout the region. I want to really thank, I didn't introduce myself, I'm sorry. I'm Francisca Steffen. I am the Senior Deputy Director at Seattle Department of Transportation. Thank you. I want to thank King County Metro for their partnership in working with SDOT staff to help plan and implement this new service. And thank you to all the organizations in the community that planned it with us and participated in the process that helped shape how MetroFlex can best serve the needs of these neighborhoods. Give a break to the plane going overhead. And also a special thanks to Cultivate South Park, an amazing organization who's having us here today at El Mercadito to celebrate this new service and have this event. Being here today at this event and with these folks highlights the opportunity that this new service has to connect people with their community. And for many, accessing community events like this have been a challenge due to lack of travel options. Now you can access it with this on-demand service for the cost of just a bus ride. So we at SDOT are proud to fund this Delridge South Park service through the Seattle Transit Measure as part of a 2-year pilot program. STM was a measure passed by voters in 2020 to fund more bus service and expanded access to transit throughout the city through investments like transit service, capital improvements, and low-income transit access programming. It's a really important way that SDOT and the city works together with King County Metro to increase access and services throughout Seattle, making sure that transit and ways to get around are available more times of the day and more days of the week so it can be reliable for people's everyday needs and their trips around town. Within a service-constrained environment, we're proud that we worked together to find a way to bring access improvements to this community through innovative and new approaches like MetroFlex. We've prioritized working with this neighborhood because of a commitment to equity investments that we make as SDOT with King County Metro. The Delridge and South Park neighborhoods were prioritized for these STM investments through an equity analysis, identifying areas where transit service is most needed, where it truly provides a benefit to the community and it fills gaps in the network due to time of day, topography, different features of the neighborhood, and it really can make a difference in someone's life. Community members in these two communities will have greater access to services and amenities, and we heard immediately and directly from these community members that these were two neighborhoods they wanted to get to, that people wanted to go to destinations between South Park and Delridge and found it challenging. This service will now provide an ability I just feel like I'm part of the neighborhood. This is probably what you guys do all day long. But it's a wonderful opportunity that we have here, that this new service, this innovative new service, provides on-demand access for the cost of one bus ride between Delridge and South Park or to the greater King County Metro network of buses. I mean, think about it. If you, any time of day, for the cost of one bus ride, can get to the grocery store, the community center, a friend's house, the things that were once very hard to do or took you hours to do, you now can do with a phone call and the cost of one bus ride. That can be life transforming for people, and we're really excited to introduce this service. It's a great complement to existing transit, to the Rapid Ride H line, the Route 60 and 125, which will also see improvements through STM investments. We are eternally grateful for the trust that the community puts in us as service providers, and also in things like the Seattle Transit Measure to purchase additional services on your behalf and find places where it can be meaningful and add really to your quality of life. So with that, I will introduce a man who needs almost no introduction, Mayor Bruce Harrell.
Thank you, Francisca. Thank you. Thank you, Francisca. Thank you. I'm really excited to see some young folks here. I've been messing with these old folks all week. Finally, I got some youth around us. Thank you for being here. And it's very apropos because the investments see, I don't stop for these things. I just keep talking. Talk through it. The investments we are making through the Seattle Transit Measure is because you advocated for your own community. I don't like using terms like underrepresented, because you have fine representation here in Councilmember Rob Saka and myself, but most importantly, you have been underinvested as a community. Delridge, South Park, we have to recognize institutional unfairness. Underrepresentation is a term to sort of mask sometimes what has happened. No more. We are here on a beautiful July 27th date. It is the 27th, right? I was going to look at my watch.
Close enough.
Close enough. I think it's the 27th. Okay, I got that one right. We are here as friends because we all love this community. And this measure sort of, to me, is sort of symptomatic and symbolic of what we're trying to do. I want to thank all of the community-based organizations in Delridge and South Park areas who helped share your insights, shared your feedback. My daughter used to tell me that closed mouths don't get fed. So you fought for your community, and we tried to respond the best we could, as did the voters. There's a quote that was written by a transportation expert that I like to state in moments like this. The reality about transportation is that it is future-oriented. If we're planning for what we have, we're already behind the curve. We are planning for your future. We need to make that very clear. So the launch of MetroFlex service represents our collective effort to create a more accessible, equitable, and connected city. When we talk about One Seattle, that is what we are talking about. When we're talking about using the price of a bus fare to get from A to B, that's because we value you as human beings and we want to invest in your future. Whether it's work, play, or education, whatever it is, we want you to be able to get around safely, efficiently, and at a lower cost. If you look at what the Seattle Transit Measure has done already, in 2024, it supported over 3,000 weekly bus trips across Seattle, making it easier for people to travel throughout the city. That is huge. Now, we do know that this fall, there will be, at our next transportation levy, another opportunity for everyone to vote on 160 projects to improve safety, reliability, and access, as well as major maintenance and modernization investments in the infrastructure relied on by buses, freight, and cars. Let me also say, as we double down on what where's my youth car? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Come on over here in the middle. Come on, closer. Voice of the youth. You know, when I was young like that, they'd always say, you know, it is very wise, when I was young, very wise to listen to the voice of the elders. And then when I got older, they said, you know, it's very, very wise to listen to the voice of the youth. Nobody ever listened to me. See, I missed that. But in all seriousness, thank you for being here, because you are part of building your own community. This service, again, focuses on historically underinvested neighborhoods with limited access to transit despite a high need for affordable transportation options. That is why we prioritize Delridge and South Park neighborhoods. This was an equity analysis that was done. We have to understand that, and there are other areas of town that we will have the same vigor, because we realize our administration is known for one thing. I hope that it's known for our deep commitment to equity. And again, Delridge, South Park, you represent the best of us. We need to understand that. I've always said there cannot be one Seattle without West Seattle. I got to think of something that rhymes with Delridge and South Park. It's on the table to consider. But as I close, I want to say thank you again for being here, and we hope that this is, again, part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to reach all communities and make sure, again, this Seattle Transit Measure that, again, was an investment that the region made a few years ago, that it reached the communities that needed most, and that is you. So thank you very much.
have you, and thank you for really underscoring how important this is to the community and how important it is to the city. I'd like to next introduce Councilmember Rob Saka. Come on up. You represent this district and a really key leader in our transportation space.
Hello. Okay.
This thing on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, cool. I'm gonna do my whole speech over again. I was without a mic that works. You timed it just like that? Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The mayor is always a tough act to follow, but Mr. Mayor, I genuinely want to thank you and your strong leadership for helping to bring this to life. Our terrific partners at SDOT, King County Metro, and most importantly, community. And I echo the sentiment, so shout out for community. Round of applause for community. I echo the sentiment expressed by the mayor. When I was growing up, they called people who were older, youth called people who were a little older, old fogies. Now, I guess I'm hearing, they call people who are a little older, old heads. But we are here for the youth do represent the future. And the future, I'm honored to say, is bright in Seattle. So shout out to our youth. Thank you for being here. Shout out to that little beautiful baby back there. And I saw other little babies back here. I got 3 kids of my own. So this is a huge win for my District 1 own Dale Ridge neighborhood and South Park communities. Dale Ridge, which some of you may know, where I live personally, I'm honored to say that selfishly, me and my neighbors in Dale Ridge now have better access and connection to South Park through this terrific investment, but an investment that benefits neighborhoods and communities like Dale Ridge and South Park truly does benefit all communities. So this is something that we can all really be proud of and hang our hats on and celebrate. So I want to thank the community, again, who helped the city and our partners at King County Metro to help us bring this to historically, not no more, and historically under-resourced neighborhoods. Again, not anymore. And importantly, many thanks to Seattle voters for choosing to invest in greater access to transit by passing the Seattle Transit Measure, as the mayor aptly noted, in 2020. Also, to the mayor's point, we just finished legislation on a monumental comprehensive transportation levy package that the mayor signed. Ultimately, voters are going to decide, have some bold investments for transit, maintenance and modernization, safety and security, among other things, climate action and resilience, among other things. But voters are ultimately going to decide. But bottom line, thank you everyone, including Seattle voters, for the passing the Seattle Transit Measure in 2020. And I know about the difficult access to transit service. For Dale Ridge, helping to get residents to the H Rapid Ride and Route 125 and Route 131. We have lots of hills, obviously, to navigate to get to the various transit stops. And for South Park, there is line 132 and 60, and of course, 987. I've taken almost every last one of those. I try to walk, as chair of our city's transportation committee, I try to walk the talk, so to speak. I proudly take regularly King County Metro and Sound Transit and all the transit services, because they really do benefit everybody. And this specific investment, this beautiful shuttle pictured behind us here, helps connect people to opportunities and transit. So at the end of the day, it's about access and safety. Weekend and late night service is very limited and very hard to access for some of our people who are our community members and neighbors who are transit dependent and need it the most. It's also about equity. South Park has over 37% population of people who speak a language other than English, and over 25% of South Park are Latino, Hispanic. Dale Ridge, of course, has 27% who speak a language other than English. and 21% youth. And South Park, we also know, has 23% youth versus 14% citywide. So, when the mayor and I talk about the power and potential of our youth, it's because the demographics support it. And that's why I appreciate you all for being here. But again, this is a win for the city. It's a win for communities. It's a win for all you all. So again, thank you for being here. I'm honored to help usher in this next terrific line of transit service in the city of Seattle. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Councilmember Saka. Thank you for being here and all your leadership on transportation issues. This is really an important moment, and I want to acknowledge all these youth behind us as well who are going to play an important role as we move forward, because they are going to help teach us all how to download the app and ride this service as much as anything else, because you know that people like me and people who are my parents are all going to say, could you help me find this? Can you help me figure out how to use this thing? And I really appreciate that, and I'd love to see you here, and I'd love all the work happening here in Cultivate South Park. But for that, I want to acknowledge and invite up Michelle Allison, who's the General Manager of King County Metro, a key partner for SDOT and the city in delivering mobility, equity, and safety to our community. Please join me in welcoming Michelle.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here today. At King County Metro, we love launching things because we spend a lot of time planning things. So today, it's really my pleasure to represent the agency and also to extend our deep appreciation to the community, those represented here behind me today in the youth, and all of the other advocates for so many years have asked Metro to provide additional service to connect communities here in this region to more opportunity throughout King County and the city of Seattle. We are delighted to launch this mobility option. We pride ourselves as being a mobility agency, so I find being under a flight path also fitting for the moment today. So thank you so much for showing up, for keep asking the questions, for staying invested in the conversation, and for being here today as we launch new service. Today we celebrate offering a fresh, new, easy transportation option for two of our treasured neighborhoods in Delridge and South Park. This is not merely about convenience. This is about equity, opportunity, and flexibility. Because of the geographic isolation that has been mentioned by others, it has been very hard for residents in these communities to get around. MetroFlex aims to change that. We are really proud to partner with the City of Seattle in creating a system where transportation is not a barrier, but a gateway. A gateway to jobs, schools, doctor appointments, after-school programs, shopping, and frankly, just community. MetroFlex represents a genuine shift in transit, in mobility itself. We've tailored this service with the voices of community members, asking us to provide connections that matter to them. So this service reflects the actual voice and the requests of the community that we serve. MetroFlex is based on real, on-demand, and passenger requests. This means people won't need to spend hours planning on how to use 7 different buses to get where they need to go. This service is also affordable and costs the same as a bus ride. Finances should not be a barrier to opportunity. You can transform MetroFlex, or you can also transfer to the bus system as well. So your opportunities don't just end where the routes here go, they also connect to the larger system as a whole. The MetroFlex app lets you book a ride, track a vehicle, and receive real-time updates, all from the palm of your hand. This empowers riders to navigate their daily lives with confidence. And that reliability means that you can make more plans and have the assurance that you're going to get to where you need to go on time. On-demand transit like MetroFlex is a catalyst for change. It's empowering communities, unlocking economic potential, and making life easier for all of our families. Together, let us build a future where transportation and mobility is not just a means of getting from point A to point B, but it becomes a cornerstone of our community where everyone can thrive. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for our partnership with the community and the City of Seattle for making this possible.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michelle. we now have up, I'm excited to invite up our youth ambassador, Ruby Montes de Oca, representing Cultivating South Park.
Okay, well, nerves. Welcome to South Park and welcome to my home. I'm glad to see you all here today. Your support is making a difference in our community. The Seattle Times called the Seattle's most forgotten neighborhood of all 88 neighborhoods in King County. We are the poorest, the most diverse, and the youngest. But thanks to your support, we are turning things around and South Park is starting to shine with new hope. Here in South Park, we pride ourselves in doing things a bit differently. For example, I help out a food program that is committed to address specific dietary needs of our diverse cultural backgrounds in our neighborhood. Unlike a traditional food bank, our program operates more like a small market. We offer fresh produce, nutrient-dense items, and essential cooking staples for community members to take without charge. It's called El Mercadito. The translation would be like a grocery market, or, well, it'd be the market, but it's like a grocery store and it's like really cute. In addition to our food program, we are tackling other critical issues. We provide resources to combat lead pollution and resources to fight child asthma. Our commitment extends to arts and youth programs to help youth help us out and do outreach, and just it's really fulfilling seeing youth help out in our neighborhood because they're our future. Today you can see the efforts at our pop-up shop. It's a showcase of what we've achieved and a lot of a future we're working towards. Looking ahead, we have big plans to make South Park even better. One exciting goal is to open a grocery store here in our neighborhood. The store will offer culturally relevant produce and cooking staples addressing the food desert that is South Park. With your continued support, we hope to turn South Park into a food oasis, a health oasis, and a transit oasis. Hopefully, it can be more reachable. Yeah. Thank you for listening and supporting our community. Your commitment and dedication is making a real difference, and for that, we are deeply grateful. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council Member. Thank you, Executive General Manager. And thank you to all of you for being here today, making this possible, and being here to celebrate with us. You're all invited to come and take a photo with us, and also enjoy the market and learn more at any of the booths that we have here about Metroflex. Thank you for being here today.